So we're doing a roof patch. I've already done some of the work here. I've removed the 3 affected rows. The trick with shingles, you have to understand, is that of the last row, the actual staples are actually above the 4th row right here. So you've got to get it way up underneath, and you've got to very carefully lift up and remove all the nails that are hidden by this one right here. And then when it comes to actually securing it, you need to make sure this is loose enough to get a nail under. So that is going to be the real trick. And this is staples, which means that they're an absolute pain in the rear to get out. But once you get them out, that's what a staple looks like. And they use about a half a dozen of these things for every single shingle, which makes it really a nuisance to take them out. So we filled a hole. There was a hole here for a flashing vent, boot. So we have put a tin shingle in here to cover the hole. That's how we make sure that nothing hits and goes through. And then the trick with roof shingles, you have to think of 5 5/8. That is your stagger pattern. And so we're going to be cutting the next set of shingles down so that they just basically line right in again. We have shingles, as close to match as I can. And what we're going to do basically is just continue our pattern once again all the way back up. Now what we can do, thankfully, is we can literally just slice it along here. And what I like to do actually is take my knife and score the underside so that I know where I'm cutting to make sure. There we go. So now I can turn it over. Got a nice score. This is not a hook blade. Typically you want a hook blade when you're working with shingles because they cut a lot better. But if you score them, they will snap without being too obnoxious. Well, in theory, of course. There we go. So, when it comes to shingles, make sure you line the bottom up with the top of your reveal, like so. And then you have a nailing strip right here. You make sure you put your nails in that strip. And that's very, very important. If you don't put it in the strip, you'll avoid the warranty. And if there's a problem, you sure don't want your warranty voided. Okay, so now that we've done that one, this one goes in. And as mentioned, this strip here lines up with that body right there. So that's why you have 2 sets of nails on every single shingle, which is why you have to go up above the one you're removing to actually make it work. So we're just going to keep on going here very quickly. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. And we got to make sure not to forget to cut your nailing strip. Otherwise, it's really hard to cut through the face without a hook blade. So now we got that one. Boom. Again, you're lining up the bottom with the top of the reveal. And when a full shingle comes along, you're going to have 5 nails per shingle, 1 at each end, and 3 in the middle. So we typically go like 1 on each side. And then I infill. In this case, I'm going to be doing 4 per. And then this last one will literally be the best part of a full shingle. There we go. And always check your reveal, make sure that it lines up correctly. Really soft on the back side, really tough on the front edge. And watch out for the flashing. The metal on these roofs is really sharp. And when you get to the last row, you have to lift up very carefully. And it's always nice to have a second pair of hands, but we're just going to do that. gauge. And you don't ever want to put a nail on a seam. There'll be another small piece right here, so make sure your nail is inside of that seam. So we're going to go here so that it's covered by the roof. Because otherwise what ends up happening is every single nail hole that's exposed becomes a leak in your roof. And that's how you patch a roof.